Welcome back to the Nick J. Francis channel. Quick recap, quick immediate reaction. The game's just finished. Arsenal 1, Manchester City 2. What a frustrating game. Lots of positives to take from the game. But, I mean, what a way to start 2022, bro. Bruv, my flight is freezing. Man's got the hat on. Man's got the cup of tea. Bruv, it's a roller coaster of emotions right now. Like I say, we just lost the game 2-1. And I'm going to try and put an optimistic spin on things and then just give a quick update. It'll be a quick one, but a quick optimistic view on things and how the game went, and then put a positive spin and just look at the situation that we find ourselves in right now. So the highlights, you guys have probably seen the highlights. You might have watched the game, but Bukayo Saka scores first. Mahrez scores a penalty. Loads of controversy over the penalty. And then Rodri bangs, scrapes in a really, really late goal. But despite the loss, for me, it was a really, really good performance. I feel like, Gabriel got a red card. I feel like if we have 11 men staying on the pitch, I feel like we win that game. Before the game, I said I would take a draw. Before that Rodri goal, I was pretty not happy. It's a roller coaster of emotions. But before that Rodri goal, I'm not going to lie, I was content. Because like I say, when I set myself a goal, or when I set an expectation, I keep that expectation all the way through, right? That's why I keep saying Arsenal top six, and not letting my mind get away from me with top four, top six. In the same way with this game, I told myself a draw. That's what I want. I would be happy to take a draw. The way we came out of the blocks, they had like first 20, 25 minutes, they had 65, 70% of the possession. But we were matching them for aggression. We were matching them, meeting them high up the pitch, really pressing them back. It was really, really impressive stuff. A really impressive performance, and the work rate and everything from the players. These types of performances are why you need a squad and not just a good starting 11. I was really happy with the way that we started off. And then obviously after the goal from Saka, we took the lead. And they're Manchester City, so it's always going to be a battle. We're never in cruise control or anything like that. It's always going to be a battle. Martinelli had a couple of great opportunities. One way he pinched the ball and ran the whole length of the pitch, took on Rodri, took on Cancelo, just couldn't get the shot on target, just wide. So it wasn't, a 9 performance from Martinelli because he didn't score. But, he needs to work on some of that finishing. But in terms of the work rate, the desire, we hear people compare him to Alexis Sanchez all the time. And that's exactly who he reminds me of, because the work rate is absolutely there. Finishing, he had one from outside the box. He took it, sort of 25-yard strike. Really, really close again, just working on that finishing. And he's adding goals to his game already. And that will come in time. I have a lot of patience, a lot of time for Martinelli as well. Saka got the goal. It was Kieran Tierney that cut the ball back across the box, just put it into a general area. Lacazette was there, Saka was there. Saka snatched it at first and got the goal. And then we started to fall apart. It started to be a typical Arsenal sort of situation. We had Gabriel getting a stupid yellow card for scuffing up the penalty spot, which was just ridiculous. Aaron Ramsdale was doing the same thing. We're really lucky he didn't get a yellow card, but Gabriel got a yellow card for that. Mahrez steps up to take the penalty. Go and look at the penalty for yourself. For me, there's lots of talk about VAR and all that kind of stuff. We'll come to that. I thought, it's a 50-50 one. Granit Xhaka dangles his leg out and is holding the shirt. It's a little bit soft. Bernardo Silva's looking for the contact, but you're giving the referee a decision to make. The issue that people are having isn't whether or not it was a penalty, but it's the consistency of when do you go to VAR. And even though it's the referee's decision makes the final decision, when you tell the ref stop play and go to the VAR, are you putting something in his head psychologically that he's got a bias towards changing his decision? Because I think only once so far has a ref gone to the little camera on the side and stuck with it and not overturn the decision. So it looks like the way VAR is working is that it is actually affecting the psychology of the referee. It's not necessarily that the referee's going over and seeing something different that the ref didn't see before. Sometimes that may be the case, but it seems like once the higher ups call you and say, go take a look, automatically you've got a bias in your head to go and change things. So that's the penalty anyway. Not going to get onto Xhaka too much. Bernardo Silva is an extremely talented player, really good feet, changes direction really, really fast. And Granit Xhaka had a pretty superb game. up to that point, and even after that point, to be fair. So I'm not gonna get at him too much. You know, it's just one of those things. These things happen. Mahrez dispatches the penalty really well, but Gabriel does get a yellow card in that for scuffing up the spot, which is stupid, ridiculous, and against top penalty takers, it's not really going to make much of a difference anyway. Especially with VAR and all the cameras and stuff like that, you can't get away with that type of stuff, right? It's not 2008. So that makes it 1-1. And then even at 1-1, I was pretty calm with the performance. We kept very, very tight, very compact, still pressing, counter-attacking really, really well. Lacazette makes great link-up play, and he's got players around him with pace, and Thomas Partey put in a really good performance. And then, a few minutes later, Gabriel turns, they clear the ball. Martinelli should have scored. It was an open goal when Laporte nearly scored an own goal, headed it back to his goalkeeper, but accidentally headed it over the goalkeeper. Very nearly an own goal. Nathan Ake, who wasn't great, Saka absolutely ran rings around him, but Nathan Ake did really good to get back and clear it off the line. They clear it. The ball drops to Gabriel Jesus, and as he turns to make a run at the Arsenal goal, he just gets taken out. Well, he just gets body checked by Gabriel, and again, it's just stupid. It's just a stupid, it was like on the halfway line. He's not necessarily in on goal. We've got players that can cover, but he gets himself a red card. And the problem that you have with that red card is that he's going to get a ban, and that ban will be for the next league game. And the next league game is on the 16th of January, I think, and it's the North London Derby, which is going to be a 6-point game. It's going to be the game that we really, really have to win if we want to, hold off. Like I say, top 6 is the goal, not top 4. But if we are going to get top 4, we have to be taking points from United. We have to be taking points from Spurs. And going into that game with Rob Holding, who has looked decent when he stepped in, but he's not the composed footballer that Gabriel is, I don't think. And he's not got the same partnership with Ben White that Gabriel has. So that's the situation that Gabriel's put us in. He's been class this season. I'm a big fan of Gabriel. But that was stupid. And when people do things that are stupid, we have to call it out. So we're down to 10 men. It's 1-1, and we just stayed resolute. We took off Lacazette, put Martinelli central, brought on Smith Rowe, took off Odegaard, and then he came on late. And honestly, I've got to be honest, I was really, really happy and impressed with the performance. We had a 5-minute spell of pure stupidity, which made us lose the game. And that's the kind of stuff that you can't blame the manager or the coaching staff for. That responsibility falls to the feet of Gabriel. He has to hold his hands up, and he has to take responsibility for that. There's nothing Arteta can do about that. There's nothing that any of the coaches on the sideline can do about that. But outside of that, the rest of the performance was really, really sharp. And if we play like that, I said it before, I can't remember what game it was, but I said before, for us to get a draw, we'll have to attack to get a draw. We can't sit back and grind out a draw. And that's exactly what it was today. Even though we didn't get the draw, it was a really towards the end of the game, I think it's like 94 minutes, 6 minutes of added time, 94 minutes. KDB puts the ball into the box to the right-hand side. We kind of defend it, but don't really get it clear, and it just drops to the feet of Rodri, and he taps it in. It's a preventable goal, but it's a bit of a sloppy goal. But it's 94 minutes. We were chasing down with 10 men for half an hour. You could see some people were absolutely shattered. Saka and these guys looked shattered. Tierney was bombing up the left wing with the ball and looking for a cross, and just had to put it back because Martinelli and Saka were shattered. So it's going to be. We've put ourselves here in a really, really tough spot, and we've given Man United and Spurs a great opportunity to leapfrog us again. Spurs are 5 points behind us, but with 3 games in hand. So big opportunity there. One of those games is against us, so we will need to try to take 3 points from that game. We've beat them 3-1 before, but that was against Nuno, not against Conte. So let's see what happens there. Man United are 4 points behind us, with 2 games in hand. So everything is still possible. Top 4 is absolutely possible. Top 6 is the minimum requirement. And if we keep playing like this and being sensible, we will get into those good positions. We will finish top. I'm pretty confident at the moment of finishing top 6, besides some crazy capitulation towards the end of the season. Top 4 may still be a stretch, but it's individual moments of mentality. And it seems like, and this is the thing with anything, this thing when you run a business, when you have a big team, anything like that, it's really difficult to get everybody on song at the same time. Martinelli's been firing lately, Saka's been firing lately, Partey's hitting his stride, Shaka's been playing a good disciplined role for the team, which we haven't seen from him in the past. He's been a bit touch and go, but sometimes. But then you have Gabriel, and Gabriel's been quality since he's come in. But then he does something crazy, which he just can't legislate for, and something silly. So it's this is the difficulty with management, right? Because you're working with a bunch of different people, and they're all people. They've all got their own minds and their own, their own emotions and all the rest of it. And it was just absolutely bizarre. So going into the game, I really wanted a draw. I would have taken a draw. The way we played throughout the game, it felt like we should be winning this. We should have been maybe 2-0 up at half time, and then by the end of it, the loss feels like losing 3 points. But in the context of the game and how I felt before the game even started, I'm going to keep it in my head that we dropped 1 point today, because I would have taken a draw before the game, if that makes sense, rather than we dropped 3 points. That's how I look at things anyway. Obviously, if you're somebody that goes off of the performance and not prediction, then I understand if you feel like we dropped 3 points today. I still think it's impressive that this team, this same Man City team, beat us 5-0 in cruise control earlier on this season with the same players. And 3 or 4 months later, we're in a position where we're grinding out a 2-0 result, 2-1 result against them, and with 10 men, and we should have probably won the game on balance of play. So, there are, like I say, there are positives there. We have to go back and reset. And with this group of this group of players, the mentality that they have, they're able to go back and reset. Every time we take a loss, we tend to see ourselves make some changes and come back and come out refreshed and looking new. We've got cup football before the next league game, so something a little bit different. So hopefully we can come back. In terms of man of the match, for me, I think the BT guys gave it to Thomas Partey. I want to give it to Tomiyasu, who's up against Sterling, who's a really good winger, regardless of what you think about him. His stats are really impressive. He's been having a good season as well this season, Raheem Sterling. And Tomiyasu kept him quite quiet. Tomiyasu's passing was really good. Tomiyasu's composure was really good. Thomas Partey was great. I think they might have given him man of the match because he's much improved from what he was before. But Tomiyasu is just class, and I think if we had somebody else at right back, in years gone by, we've seen the same fixtures with Bellerin at right back or Cedric at right back and all these different people. I don't think that we've come out as relatively unscathed as we've come out of this one. So super frustrating. But we're not a better team than Manchester City on paper. We're not, and so I think 2-1. I thought if we lose, it's about how do we lose this game? Do we lose this game in a respectable manner? We lost the game in a battle and respectable manner. We just have to take it on the chin and move on. That's what I think anyway. What do you guys think about the VAR controversy? I don't like VAR, but I think the controversy over it has been blown out of proportion. Ultimately, that penalty is always going to get given. And on the Ederson one, I don't know, maybe he got the ball first, or I'm not entirely sure. But because of the way that we played, we had ample opportunity to put the game to bed regardless. So let me know what you think. What do you think about the North London derby? Any score predictions for that? And how would you guys deal with having somebody in your team and you're the manager and you can't control their thoughts and their emotions and the stupid shit that they do just on any given moment? Do you know what I mean? And that's my quick thoughts on the game. I'll probably do a player ratings video at some point as well, and dive into things in a little bit more depth. But listen, we ride. We've got Spurs next. We've got Liverpool between that and the Cup. It's going to be tough. But if we keep playing like this, I'm very, very confident, especially if Liverpool put out a not first team because they've got other priorities, we should be able to get through to the Cup final, and then maybe we see Spurs or Chelsea there. So that's it from me. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys again in the next one. Peace.